Hi, I'm Delaney Hoffman from Wisconsin, and my film is called Radiohead. It's a 15-minute stop motion and live action film. And a little bit about it is that we follow this young girl who recently goes through tragedy of losing her grandma, and her and her father are starting to distance apart from each other due to that. And then she finds herself stuck into a world of color and imagination, where in the real world it's a lot more gray and a lot more sadder. But in this creative world, inside of this radio, she meets really interesting alien creatures, and they end up on this whole whirlwind of an adventure, running away from this big mechanical snake, basically. So trying to figure out how to get back out of the radio.
Okay. This is live action and animation.
Yes.
And from my information here, you had a crew of about 75 people working on this for you.
Correct. A little bit more than 75, but according to the cruise sheet, it was about 75.
How did you manage to get all this crew together for your short film? I understand it was originally a much longer film, too.
Yeah. So it was intended to be a 30-minute film, and it was intentionally made for my capstone senior year. I just graduated from UW Stout here in Wisconsin, and it wasn't intended to be a very large crew like that, but I think because we all were super ambitious and we wanted to create something really big last year, it was just one of those things that people started talking about it, and then people became interested and wanted to be a part. And it was different because for at our school, it's a very art school, where in our majors we tend to stick inside of the major, stick around the same people that we know and are comfortable with. But we really tried to strive beyond the walls of just our major and reach into all of the other majors. So pottery majors, animation majors, graphic, industrial, even majors like music and such as well. So that's kind of how it expanded.
Interesting. So, are you an animation major or are you a filmmaking major?
I'm a filmmaking major.
Animation, something you're very interested into because a lot of this is animation.
Yeah. Well, I was a animation major before I switched to video production. I want to say after 3 years of doing animation, but I think the unique thing about this film was that even though I had majority animation majors a part of it, none of them have done stop motion before. The stop motion is not taught at our school, so it was something that we all had to learn ourselves, and um, basically trial and error all the way through. So
Stop motion's not taught in your animation course?
no.
Interesting. Is it all computer driven now?
Yeah, it's all like 3D, 2D animation.
Because you do combine different styles of animation in your film. Like your opening credits has sort of I assume that's all computer
Yeah, that's
animated.
all like motion graphic heavy.
Yeah.
And then yeah, in the stop motion portion, we had a lot of different multimedias with stop motion, of course, but then also with the animation moving backgrounds and motion graphics and a lot of green screening and stuff like that.
Because your opening credit sequence it is computer animated, but it has that feel of a 2D cut paper effect. When you were picking these styles of animations, how did you fall on what would be used at what point?
It was really, the whole thing was experimental. When I first started this film, like I knew it was going to be stop motion and I knew it was going to be part or live action as well, but I didn't know exactly what all was going to be put into the stop motion. I also didn't know I was going to have that opening credits like that too. It just as we went along the process, more and more creatives were able to come up with things and be like, this could look cool, and I think we should try it. And then we tried it and we loved it. So it was as we went kind of thing.
How'd you find your actors for the live action sequence?
Yeah, so it's actually really hard to find actors in this small town, especially young actors. But I knew the main character, Hazel. I was best friends with her sister growing up. And I was talking to her sister about this film, and she kind of mentioned that Hazel really loves acting and she wants to be an actress. And I was like, I think that would be a neat opportunity to give this film to her as her first experience. And she ran with it. And now I know a lot of other people want to keep having her around for other films.
How was the community supportive of something? I mean, it's kind of a big undertaking. It's a 15-minute film, lots of stop motion, but you're also shooting live action sequences. You have to go on location. How was the community supportive of it?
Yeah, I think because this kind of thing hasn't been done before here at Stout, and I think, or not a project this ambitious or big. It was really unique because people all throughout the school would hear about it. They would see we promoted it a lot through like different merchandise and social media and posters and stuff like that. So word was being spread, and I think that made everyone excited because they've never seen a stop motion animation happen before, and they also they don't hear too much about video production major as well, because it's a pretty new program, and we tend to just work with the people in our class. So I think once people heard that something unique is happening, they wanted to be a part and they wanted to support any way possible. And yeah, with it being on site, it was nice that all these students, instead of expecting to be paid or something like that for this film, they were just so excited to be a part and to have something to take with them for their reel and to build their work. So
You're a big fan of Coraline and Tim Burton films.
yeah.
So you said that you majored in stop motion first, then you moved over to filmmaking. So it sounds like you're a lover of animation. What was that like switching over to filmmaking?
It's actually pretty funny. I think because I love Tim Burton films and I love Coraline and like I love animation films in general, I think I picked animation as a major first because I really just loved creating the stories and drawing characters and watching them come to life. But I think I switched over to video production because I realized animation's a lot harder than than just telling a story and just drawing the characters. And I realized that maybe that's not my strong suit is animating, but I can still tell a story through filmmaking, and I can still work and collaborate with others who are more talented in animation and who are more talented in illustration and such. And yeah, so it just kind of that was the point where I just switched my major over to video production because I can still do that. It's just a lot more focused on the production and pre-production parts of it. But yeah.
So what's next for you?
So in about 2 days, I'm moving to San Diego, California, and I am pursuing the film industry and trying to get into the horror fantasy realm of that. So
Great. Anything else you want to say about your film?
yeah, well, mainly what I took away from this whole experience was not just put in hopes that it would look good or like that it would be successful or anything like that. It was more so it was the people that was a part of it and how hard they worked on it and how proud they are of what they could do. So it really, when you're watching this film, it's a lot of people who put their heart into it. So that's what made it so great. So
Great. Well, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you.